First of all, you need 100 grams of unsalted butter, 100 grams of caster sugar, 2 eggs, 100 grams of self-raising flour, a little bit of milk, and optional, I like to add some vanilla extract to the cupcakes. Now you need to get either your mixing bowl and wooden spoon and a spatula, or if you have a food processor, get your food processor and the spatula out. Add your softened butter and your sugar to the mixing bowl and turn it on a low speed. You need to cream them together. You can do this by hand with your spoon and your bowl as well. You can see that the yellow at the moment, once they've mixed together really well, they'll go a much paler colour. When the mix is ready, it should be much paler in colour and much softer in texture, not as gritty as it is to start with the sugar. If you scrape it off the sides with your spatula, and now we're going to gradually add the 2 eggs and the flour, a little bit at a time. Keep mixing as we go. For this step, it is better to use a spoon rather than the mixer, because otherwise you will overmix it and you will lose all the air that you've just created, and then your cakes will probably drop and they won't rise properly in the oven. To start with, I've added 1 egg and about half of the flour, and now I'm going to mix it with a spoon. Be careful not to overmix it and try folding with the spoon. If the mix is a little stiff to move with the spoon, then add a dash of milk and remix. You need to preheat your oven to 190 degrees Celsius. You need some baking cases and a baking tray. If you put 9 of the cases into the tray, you might need a little more, you might need a little less. You'll find out when you're adding your mix. I find it easier to use a dessert spoon and a teaspoon. So you're putting about a dessert spoon per cake case. Each cake case should be around half full or less than half full. If you have smaller cake cases than these, you will need less mix in each case, and you'll probably get about 12 cupcakes out of it. Once the oven has preheated, get an adult to help you carefully place the baking tray in the oven using oven gloves. It will take around 15 minutes to cook, but if you watch it towards the end, make sure that it doesn't overcook. We want the cupcakes to come out golden brown. If you have a cake skewer or something thin, when you think the cakes are ready, you could gently put the skewer into the middle of the cake, and as you draw it out, if it comes out clean, then it's done. If there's still sticky mix on the skewer, then it isn't done. It needs a little bit longer. Once the cakes are out of the oven, then it should look golden brown. You can put a skewer in. You can see it comes out clean, so they're ready. If you transfer the cakes from the tray onto a cooling rack. Leave to cool. To finish off your cakes, if you wanted to, you could cut a little bit of cake out of the middle and then add a teaspoon of jam, and then put the cake back in. Here's a finished cake. If you wanted to, you could put a little bit of icing sugar mixed with water on top too. If you put a blob on the top and let it run down. Alternatively, you could put a blob of icing in the middle and let it run down to the edges. You could also add berries on top if you wanted to, or hundreds and thousands, or whatever your favourite things are. We have some mini eggs left in our house from Easter, so those would work well on top too. If you wanted to, you can make your own St George's Day flag using a cocktail stick and paper to decorate it with. Alternatively, you could cream the butter and icing sugar together with a little tiny bit of milk to make some buttercream icing, and then put it either into a plastic bag with a hole cut out, or a cone of baking paper, or you could use a piping bag if you have one. If you have a piping bag and a nozzle, you could make roses like this. So start on the inside and turn round in a circle, ending up on the outside, and you have a rose shape. And here are our finished cupcakes. Have fun!